Hello guys, welcome to my now second update for the project Level Up. This project was created by Sophia Alexandra. I'm gonna leave her channel and intro video in the description box. So the goal of this project is to use your eyeshadows and hit pan on them. And the project consists of multiple levels, and each level has a different prompt. And so for the first level, you will have to hit pan on one eyeshadow and use each of the eyeshadows in the palette once. And then for level 2, you'll have to hit pan on 2 eyeshadows and use all of the eyeshadows in the palette twice, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I guess hopefully the explanation made sense. Yeah. So before we get into my progress, I wanted to talk about something. So if you've seen my previous video, you've already heard me talking about it, but so as of today, the March 6th, there is still war in Ukraine, and I come from Ukraine. I'm studying abroad, so I'm not there right now, but my entire family pretty much and my friends are there, and I'm just, I don't know, I'm still honestly in disbelief that this is happening. It just doesn't make sense. It's all happening just because of like one egoistical dictator, and I feel like this shouldn't be happening in 21st century. So yeah, I just wanted to mention this. So if you want to help, I will have oh my god, I'm blanking out. I'm going to have petitions to sign and places to donate if you have the funds. And yeah, it would mean so much. I want this to end as soon as possible, because it's honestly like, it's really, I don't know, it's hard to wake up and then like realize that that is happening. And yeah, okay, I'm just gonna end this before I start crying or something. So yeah, let's just get into the palette I had for my now level 2. Oh, and one more thing. So I have like additional rules for this project. So if I roll in a palette that I have in my Pendle's Eyeshadows project, I'm going to re-roll. And I don't know if I mentioned this in my previous updates of this project. I think I don't want to have like the same palette in this project more than once, because I just much rather spread the love on all of my palettes than use like the same one multiple times, if that makes sense. So yeah, so the palette that I have for level 2 was Perception from Midas Cosmetics and Basic B. So since this was the level 2, I had to use this every shade in this eyeshadow twice and hit pan on 2. And I'm happy to report that I was able to do that. I don't know if you can see the pans, but yeah, I have pan in the white over here called Reality, and I'm trying to catch the light. And in this beautiful shimmer called Psyche. So yeah, I really enjoyed using this palette. I think it's really fun, and the selection of colors is really inspiring to me. So yeah, as I said, I used all the shadows twice or more than twice, and I think I'm going to swatch out the shadows that I have used more than twice on my hand and just like show you them and talk about them. So yeah. Okay, so here are the eyeshadows that I ended up using more than once. So let me just go through them and talk about them. Oops. Okay, so the first one you see here is Reality, which is the white, and it is one of the shadows that I hit pan on. And I used it 6 times. So I have to say this is not the best white eyeshadow. It's pretty thin and I feel like it doesn't have much of a grip, which I feel like is a theme with all of the like lighter shades in this palette. So yeah, I had to really build it up to get it to look like actually white on my lids or wherever I used it. So yeah, it didn't take much. I honestly didn't plan to hit pan on the shadow, but then I used it once and it already had like a considerable dip in it, so I just thought, oh, okay, I'll hit pan on it then. So let's move on. The next shadow here is called Implode, which is this one over here. And I have to say that dark mattes is probably like where it's at for this palette when it comes to mattes. I think they're really good. I'm actually wearing this shadow today and like on my lower lash line and in my outer corner, and I'm also wearing, what am I wearing? I'm wearing this on my like inner lower portion of my eye, but you honestly can't really see it. It didn't really stick that well. And I'm also wearing this shadow on my lid. Anyway, so yeah, Implode, as you can see here, it's really good. It's a very good like plummy dark matte. Yeah, and I think unlike the lighter shades, it works better like over other shadows, while the lighter shades I don't think they layer that well. So yeah, this is Implode. The next shadow here is called Open Mind. Oh wait, I forgot to tell you how much I used Implode. 4 times. Okay, and this shadow is called, as I said, Open Mind. It looks like this. I used it 3 times, and I like these kind of like bright greens that look like, you know, when you buy like crayons or like kids crayons or I don't know, felt tips, like the color of green is like this type of green. So yeah, I really like this kind of color. Anyway, moving on is this beauty, which is Psyche over here. And I used Psyche 10 times. And it is awesome. I really like this shadow. As you can probably see, it's a pretty much transparent base with green and a little bit of pink, like green to pink shift. In some lights it almost looks like a multi-chrome, but like that goes from like green, blue, purple to pink. So yeah, I just really like this shadow. It's just like adds the most beautiful like scattered sparkle to any look. So yeah, it's also like one of the more like almost super shock like colors in this palette, the only one I think. So it's very like soft and squishy. I feel like this palette has like 4 non-matte formulas, so like this sort of squishy Super Shock type of shadow, then it has more like flaky shimmers like this one, and then more like sparkly but not as like flaky, so that would be like this one and this one, and then it has like a satin. So yeah, sorry about the AC. Anyway, let's move on. So the next shadow I have here is called Existence, which is this matte warm brown. Here is a swatch of it. I used Existence three times, and I mean, I don't know what to say about it. It's an alright medium toned warm brown. Nothing like to write home about. Yeah, I have to say, like, the mid-tone and lighter shades in this palette definitely work best in like an unsaid base. So yeah, and the last shadow over here is Curious. Here it is. And I used it 3 times as well, and I think it's like a very interesting tone of purple. It's like, I don't know, it's like both cool toned and warm toned, if it makes sense. I really like it, and actually I feel like this selection of colors looks really nice together. So yeah, these are the shades that I used more than twice. So I think since I hit all my goals on this palette, I can now roll in a new palette for level 3. So let's do it. Okay, so I pulled up my pre-random app, and I'm gonna set my minimum to 1 and maximum to 99. As I mentioned in my previous video, I got a new palette last month, which was the Odenzai Hella. So yeah, my numbers got up by 1. But yeah, so let's see what's going to be our new palette. So it's going to be palette under number 65. So I'm going to go look what it is and show you, obviously. Okay, so this is pretty exciting. So the eyeshadow that was in my spreadsheet under number 65 is Shroud times Betty Bean. It's freaking bats. So I was actually, that's kind of funny, I was thinking about this palette, like, that what if I roll it in, what would I want to hit pan on? So yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. So here's what my palette looks like. It's a really fun color story. Yeah, I really like it. I wouldn't say that like it's the best shroud quality. Like, this shadow it can be a little finicky, and I feel like these are also more powdery than other. Like, I have the Divinity palette, and I'll have to say that these are more powdery compared to that palette. But I mean, I'm ready to work for it, if it makes sense. So yeah, I'll have to use all of these shades 3 times and hit pan on 3, and I think I might hit pan on like one of the shimmers, and I think I also might hit pan on Spooky, because I already have a bit of a dip in it, even though it is kind of hard to work with sometimes, but I do really like the color of it. So yeah, here is my new palette. Yeah, I'm very excited for this upcoming month and to use this palette. So also I think that this update would be the last update that I roll out a palette out of this project in a month, because I don't know if I'll be able to hit all 3 pans in this palette after 1 month, but I mean, we shall see. So yeah, I think that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out my description box for petitions and places to donate, and yeah, I think that is it. I hope you're doing well. Take care.